What up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thanks for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of y'all who will, and yes, that donation link is in the description box. Someone asked me that question on another video. Also, go over to my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speak TV. Make sure you subscribe over there. I want to thank my Facebook friends, Chrissy and another gentleman sent me this article, and they basically said, Dawson, take a look at this, and I did, and here are my thoughts. But before I get into my thoughts, let me set it up for you all like I usually do on all my videos. A Richmond, Virginia preacher is accused of having sexual contact with male inmates at a prison where he served as pastor. Matthew Mellerson, 29 years old, has been arrested on felony charges over claims he used his position to lure male inmates into sexual activity at a Richmond facility. Mellerson, who also served as sheriff's deputy, has been suspended from his position. Actually, he has lost his job now since these charges. Authorities say that there are 8 separate charges and at least 3 male victims who told news affiliates, and it's in court documents, that the sexual activity started in September 2017, with more allegations emerging in January and February of 2018. Now, I'm going to let you all watch this news clip, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary, and you all know I will not hold back on anything I have to say.
New information tonight about a former Richmond sheriff's deputy accused of having sexual contact with inmates.
We first alerted you on the NBC 12 News app as soon as we learned of the accusations against Matthew Mellerson, who is also a preacher. In fact, he was a chaplain at the Richmond City Jail before his arrest this week.
New at 11, Brent Solomon is learning more about the charges against him. Brent?
Yeah, we're talking felony offenses here. 3 male victims, 8 separate charges, and now a deputy out of a job.
Oh, come on and bless the Lord.
That's Matthew Mellerson preaching at a Richmond church back in 2014.
Even in your darkness, God still got his flashlight on you.
Mellerson was a chaplain at the Richmond jail, where he served as a sheriff's deputy. NBC 12 got a hold of these court documents. Mellerson indicted, accused of sexual contact with inmates.
I'm just confused.
Nikki Shaw has a loved one in custody at the Richmond jail and now has many questions about the allegations against Mellerson.
How long was this going on? How nobody noticed? You know, like, it's just, how did he get to do this and nobody realized what was going on?
According to court records, the activity started back in September of last year and happened again 2 months later. It didn't stop there. More allegations this year, in January and in February. We wanted to know exactly who the suspect is. According to Mellerson's LinkedIn profile, he received a Master's of Divinity from Virginia Union and a bachelor's degree from a college in Florida in philosophy and religious studies. Now, many are stunned. The alleged activity happened behind bars.
You should be safe. You shouldn't have none of this going on because you're separated from the outside world.
He was crowned the King of Kings. His midnight came.
Authorities say Mellerson used his position of power to lure those male inmates into sexual activity. He's doing court next month. Live in Richmond on your side, Brent Solomon, NBC 12.
All right, y'all, now let's go in. Now, according to Mellerson's LinkedIn profile, he received a Master's of Divinity from Virginia Union and a bachelor's degree from St. Thomas University in Miami, Florida. Now, many people who know him and in that community there are stunned the alleged activities happened behind bars. Authorities say that the former deputy/pastor used his position of power to lure these male inmates into sexual activity. Mellerson is due back in court next month. Let me say this. It is wrong for a sheriff's deputy, correction officer, whoever, male or female, to use their position of power to lure any inmate into any type of sexual activity. It is just completely wrong, and the courts will handle them not based on their sexuality or their desires, but based on their actions, and he is going to pay based on his actions. But now what I want to deal with is this whole thing of his sexuality. This man could not be who he was or who he wants to be, which is obviously a bisexual or gay male in open society. So he used his job. He used his job as a sheriff's deputy and a chaplain in a prison to act out his sexual behaviors with inmates who were confined in a prison. Now, this pastor, sheriff's deputy, I know y'all get mad when I call him a pastor, but that's what he is. He has the degrees to prove it. This pastor's job was to be a chaplain in the prison, to minister to the people, to show them spiritual guidance and counseling, and to use that for men who are trying to find Jesus in horrible circumstances. They're in prison, to use their vulnerability to act out your sexual desires. That is horrible. That is so horrible. I'm telling you, I just don't, it just makes me upset how people abuse their power. There are people who are coming to you for help. And it's the same way in the church, y'all. It's the same way in schools. It's the same way in politics. I don't like that. When you see people in a vulnerable state and they're coming to you for guidance, spiritual guidance at that, or help, and you use your position of power to manipulate them, to prey on them, P-R-E-Y. That is horrible. Now, a lot of people get mad with Dawson because in a lot of my videos, I put the whole thing ex-gay there because the church is big on they used to be a lesbian. They used to be a homosexual. They not gay no more. They delivered. The church is big on that. Oh, she was a practicing lesbian. He was a practicing homosexual. Practicing my ass. That nigga is a pro. He 2 steps away from being a damn porn star. And you gonna tell him that he is delivered and to go marry your daughter, to marry your sister, to marry your auntie, because supposedly vaginal secretion is going, according to y'all, gonna wipe all those faggot demons away. Oh, Dawson talking today. I'm talking today. Unsubscribe those who came. Thank you for coming. You only stayed a week, but goodbye. Because I have sat and watched women as a social worker sit in the damn health department waiting for a damn test to come back. I watch men who've had their women cheat on them, knowing that the church told him she not no lesbian no more. You can marry her. That demon is gone. But when they had kids and the relationship didn't work out, these men are sitting here wondering, well, you know, I believed God and she believed God that she wasn't gonna be no lesbian no more, but my marriage is ruined. Now, let me also say this. It's up to you as a man or a woman, if you are in the church or in open society, if you don't go to church at all. If you know that somebody in their previous, before they met you, if they had same-sex relationships and all that kind of stuff, if you still want to marry them, date them, that is totally up to you. I'm not taking away nobody's choices. That's up to you. But what I ask is that for y'all in the church, when y'all get in church and they're telling you to denounce this, and if you say you want to denounce it, that's you. People say they have all this kind of stuff. We know the ones who say they have and everything like that. But the thing is, let the woman know you finna marry. Let her know what you used to do. And don't take away their choice. Many times people are getting into relationships and they're not telling people the truth. Now y'all say, no, Dawson, that ain't happening. Yes, it's happening. I told y'all last year I talked to some women and I'm still talking to them now. And some of them are emailing me about the videos I've done on men who've tried to approach them about dating and married. And some of them are telling them, look, I've had same-sex experiences, and some of them didn't tell them until they got married. I got a client just last month. My God. And this man just got out of prison. And the man told me when I went to do the home visit and talk to him, and I read some of the stuff that he had on the bio and everything like that. And he was telling me why he went to prison and all this kind of stuff. And he said, I'm kind of hard on my luck now because, I got married and I shouldn't have got married. And I said, well, why did you get married? He said, I got married because I got into church and then I wanted to change my lifestyle. And so I married a woman and I've been married to her almost 7 years now. He said, and now it's not working. And I said, well, why is it not working? He was like, because I'm gay. And he said, I knew I was gay before I married her. And I stopped him. I was like, well, did you tell her before you married her what you were? He was like, no. And I should have. He was like, but afterwards, so I told her and she decided to stay in the relationship. But he said, you know what? I still wasn't fulfilled. He was like, and I had to tell her I have to leave her because I'm not doing any good to her and she's not doing any good to me. And he said that she was upset, and I said rightfully so, because you lied to her. You took away her choice. And many times men and women will stay in a relationship where there's dysfunction, stay in a relationship when the relationship was built on a lie. We stay in those relationships or friendships many times to save face. To save face, because we put stuff on social media, hashtag relationship goals, oh, me and babe, me and this right here. And when you find out that all of that was a lie, you feel hurt, you feel embarrassed, and you don't want everybody else to know the pain that you're going through. And sometimes people stay in marriages, they stay in relationships, knowing that the person who told them that they were going to be with them forever, and I love you and you're the only one, you weren't the only one. Now, this is a horrible situation for everybody involved, but I'm just definitely concerned about those inmates. Because what will those inmates think when they want to go to another chaplain or someone who comes in and say they're a man or a woman of God? They're going to think about the last person who came with that title, who tried to abuse them, who tried to use their position of power to lure them into sex. And some of y'all who carry these titles, you got to understand, when people are sometimes resistant when you come with stuff, it's usually because there's history or their experiences tell them, whoa, wait a minute. The last prophetess who came and told me that the Lord told her something was trying to sleep with me. The last pastor who said they want me to join the church was sliding in my DMs, and they got a wife and kids. You got to listen to people's stories. Everybody is not anti-Christ. Some people just anti-church. Or sometimes anti-church people. It don't mean that they don't love God. It means that some of the people who are representing God have not done a great job at being the representers that they need to be, or representing like they should. You got so much mouth on what God gonna do, and you can tell us all them scriptures, but when we look at your lifestyle and the way you live your life, we can't tell you from a difference from a person who go to the strip club every week. We can't tell the difference between you and the person who's a prostitute or the person who does porn. We can't tell the difference because all you give it is lip service. You don't live anything. Yeah, it's your boy Dawson talking. Now I'm gonna go and get off of this topic. But before I get off this topic, let me read this. A young lady sent this to me just this week. And she is a PK's kid, a preacher's kid. And she said she grew up in the apostolic church. And she wrote me and she said, "The video you did on James Hall brought tears to my eyes because I lived that nightmare. I unknowingly married a gay man. After having a daughter with this man and then finding out that I was only a cover-up for him broke me down to my lowest level. I thought I was going to lose my mind because of the heartache, and in some ways I am still struggling to deal with it. I am happily divorced, but the pain and betrayal and disappointment still lingers. It is absolutely devastating. By now I know that I am not alone. And no, sister, you are not alone. There are men and women who have experienced this exact pain." And she went on to say, "It is so sad to see other people think they have a beautiful future with someone that they love with their entire being be hurt so badly. This shook me to my core. When you said people should have options, you were right. It's the same thing I've been saying since I found out. My options were taken away before I even had them. My heart will never be the same after this gut-wrenching ordeal. But thank you for talking about it. Please keep exposing this nonsense because people need to hear the truth." This lady just wrote me this week, y'all, before I even got this topic. And y'all sit here and tell me God don't talk to you. Why you do these videos? Let me tell y'all something. If you don't like what I do, start your own YouTube channel. It's YouTube. You can talk about whatever you want. Men, women, quit lying to people. If you're in a relationship with somebody, be committed. Because people's mind, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was supposed to do, and see, this is when I say I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I was supposed to do weeks ago. I had been researching on murder-suicide. There is so many murder-suicides that are taking place across the United States. And I was supposed to do some videos talking about that. And I was going to call in some people who know, who worked at the suicide hotline so we could talk about that stuff. Y'all, we're living in a time now where y'all are getting into relationships. And people, y'all can't play with people, y'all. And I'm not saying that's why people commit murder suicides, everybody who do it, but there are people who you cannot play with their emotions. You cannot play with their feelings. And some of y'all are married. You are married and you are cheating. Some of y'all are telling people that you've been delivered from this and delivered from that. But at night or on the weekends or when you go out of town or to your little your job meetings, you are going back into the same thing you told people you were delivered from. And when your wife or your husband finds out, you cannot control how they're going to react to your behavior. Because not only did you take the marriage vows for granted, you're messing with their lives. And in many times you're messing with people's health. Because some of y'all are out here having raw sex. Some of y'all are out here doing all of this stuff. I told y'all, I have a friend right now who just, well, she's been there, it should be almost a year now, working down here in one of the HIV units in one of the hospitals. And me and her talk often. And the stories that she tell me about women and men who are married and their spouse don't know that they have the virus because now they have PrEP and stuff that makes them undetectable. That even if they're having, if they're not using protection, that person won't get it. Betrayal. Y'all stop playing with people's life. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I don't care. I know people be telling you, oh, God gonna do it. Oh, and just walk in faith. You know what you're gonna do. You know what you're going to do at night. You know what you're going to do on the weekends. You know what you're going to do when your wife go out of town. You know what you're going to do when your husband go out of town. You know what you're going to do when you telling people you and your girls going on a vacation. Stop playing with people's life. I'm trying to keep y'all from becoming one of these characters on Fatal Attraction. Stop playing with people's life. If you say God gonna change you from something, let God change you and be real with the people you get in a relationship with. And let that man or woman know what you used to do sexually before you get married to them. Don't take away people's choice. Quit lying to people. Again, to the young lady who sent me that email, thank you. Hope everything works out. Keep your head up. To the rest of y'all, go off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this video. My opinion, your opinion. Sound off. Until next time, it's your guy Dawson. Peace.